Hey guys, good morning. I'm going to do a quick video lesson here. I'm going to keep it as quick as possible on Facebook from yesterday. Okay, I'm not really going to talk about it's not a trade as such. It's more a look at implementing daily levels. I'm pretty sure Pat went through all this in the pre-market plan of attack. I mean, I wasn't around for the pre-market plan of attack. I had some things I had to do, so I did miss whatever he said about Facebook. So if I'm repeating what he said, then well, just bear with me and we'll just maybe elaborate on it a little bit anyway. So Facebook yesterday was a huge play. Obviously it reacted to the news about the Attorney General suing them over the Cambridge Analytica scandal. I was expecting it to sell off quicker or earlier than it did. However, once these news started going around more, obviously the reaction was quite hard, and in the end it was a big sell-off for Facebook. But one thing I did notice throughout the day was the importance of daily levels and how Facebook was reacting to daily levels. And when we study the Facebook daily chart, the one thing that becomes apparent is that Facebook loves levels. It loves whole numbers, it loves daily levels, and it loves trend lines, both daily and intraday. Okay, so let's have a look. Alright, I've already got some lines on here because I keep certain coloured lines on every daily chart that I watch on a regular basis. But let's imagine we were starting again. So this candle isn't here. Yesterday morning this candle hadn't appeared. Right, it doesn't exist. The moving average 50 here was further up here because obviously it's moved that far. Okay, obviously each day it moves a day's worth. So the EMA 50 was somewhere up here. We have to try and bear that in mind, which is why sometimes backtesting moving averages and stuff doesn't work, because they do tend to flatten out over time. So what would we have marked out yesterday? Well, the first thing I mark out is the previous day's high of day, which is there. All right, previous day's high of day, and then I have a look and I look to see how important was it. Well, it was also high of day there, pretty well high of day there within a cent or two. It was low of day there, well, not low of day but closed there. It opened there. So this is a pretty good line. This orange line here is a pretty good line. So I want to keep it orange, but what I'll do is I'll expand it a little bit, okay, because that's a good line. Now I want the previous day's low of day, which is there. We go back. Yeah, it's nothing too important, nothing really. Has a few things. We'll keep that as it is. Alright, it's not as important on the daily. Okay, now what else will we look at? Now what we do is we're going to use our cursor and we're going to basically scroll through areas to see what areas look like they hold on a regular basis. Now that looks good. Okay, we got there, so I'm going to put a thicker purple line, pink line there. So that represents the high of day from the day before, represents the open from there, high of day, high of day, high of day, open. So that line there is purple. I already knew, that's why I put it there. Okay, I put my very important line there, which is the pink line. Okay, now we look, are there any more? Is there anything else that's really strong that looks like it's, yes, okay, so you can see there the open. Okay, so we're going to put another one there. So we've got yesterday, if we were doing this yesterday morning, we've got the open, low of day, open, high of day, the open, pretty well the low of day. So pretty good line. Alright, that's an important line also, so that stays in as a purple. And I'll probably look for something else. What else have we got that might have some effect? We're not expecting it to come down that low at this point. What have we got in here, in and around here? Anything really good? Anything super strong? Yeah, okay, so there. I'm going to put one there. Okay, I'm going to put that there because obviously it's held there, 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 around there. Seems to be okay. Alright, so I'll keep that in there as well. Alright, I'll keep that as a blue line. So there's a few daily lines all put in together. Okay. Okay, we've also got a trend line on Facebook. Okay, you can see, actually it probably goes from here, but let's just do it here. You can see from here across the tops there, we've got a trend line that holds there. I don't know whether it will, does it actually work? It does. Okay, as I thought it would. Actually, if you extend it backwards, it's the same. So originally that trend line would have gone across there and across there, but then extends down here. Okay, so we're going to keep that trend line in as well. Okay. And you can see on the intraday that that comes across the top of that white trend line here. Okay, these levels and these trend lines are very important for our trading. Okay, so let's assume that's our daily chart marked up with some nice important levels. Okay, so we can pull that back, zoom it, okay, and we can watch during the trading day and see what happens. Okay, so let's look at the intraday chart yesterday of how these levels were effective. Okay, we're going to have to zoom right in order for this to work, and we're just going to have to move the chart back a bit at a time because there's so much movement on Facebook yesterday. The drop is so big that the candles are now absolutely tiny. So Facebook, we were watching it to come up to here. It had already been marked out in the pre-market plan of attack that we were going to wait for it to come up to these daily levels or to the EMA 50 on the daily, which was up here. Okay, now it didn't quite make, as it was at the time, it didn't quite make the EMA 50. Okay, however, what it did do was it made these important daily levels. Now you see we put this one on here, okay, and we've got these here. It pushed through the first levels, but what it did, it pushed perfectly to 146. All right, and 146 was 145, 146 was here. It's different. It actually looks slightly different on the daily here. Just one second. I don't understand why my daily's there because it did push up. Hang on. Okay, sorry. I see what I was doing. I had it on the 2-minute chart and I was looking at the day before, the wrong day. I see. Okay, so this was the open yesterday. Okay, and this is exactly what we had marked up. We had moving average 50 was here. Okay, and we were waiting for it to come up. The moving average 50 was round about 145.50, I think. Anyway, that was what we were looking for. I did take an earlier trade on Facebook which didn't work out. Okay, I took it here when it rejected here, and then it stopped me out there. All right, took a paper cut loss on Facebook on that first move. So we said let's wait for it to find its levels. Okay, and I knew this purple line, this pink line was important. Okay, because it was, if you look at it from the daily, it was here. All right, very important daily level. What are we stuck on? There. Okay. No, not there. Sorry, one of those days. There. So this is what I was watching for, and I said let's wait for it to come up into that and see what it does around the 145. I watched it come up and it rejected the 144.93, which is that line there, absolutely to perfection. As you can see, it literally touched it. It put in a doji. I put in these candles here which said I'm done, I think I'm going to pull back. Okay, you as in my previous video lesson, we were looking at reading candles and understanding what candles are telling us. These candles are telling us that it's going to reject. Okay, big top wick, flat bottom, doji candle, and then it comes. All right, now I took this trade here. I can't remember what my entry was on an option point, but if it was an equity, it would have been around 144.75. Okay, risking off that. So it was a very, very good entry. Took it down here, took it to down here. I had to take this trade off, sadly, around here for 30%. I tried to get 4 contracts. I wanted 4 contracts. For some reason, I messed up my order. I took one put. I took a 143, I think it was. Took it off here for 30%. It was starting to try to base around here. It doesn't show it the same, but it was trying to base. Or was it the VWAP? I can't remember. It was basing when I took it off. It could have been here. It was basing. Anyway, the point being is I had to go out. I had to go pick my son up from school, and I couldn't leave it on. So I took my contract off for 30% and hoped that Facebook would come up and give me a double top for when I got home, but it didn't. The point being in this is I want to look at the levels that we've got marked up and how price starts to work in and around these levels, because it's really important. Okay, so you can see when it gets down to this level here, okay, it's got the VWAP, and then it starts to interact with this daily level around here. It holds the VWAP, it comes, it holds, and it starts holding around this area here. Okay, once this area here breaks, then the next natural thing is for it to try and make a move down through the whole numbers. Okay, so let's see how these levels work. So once it's underneath this level, you can see it starts to try to retest. Okay, starts to try to retest 143.14. Test. It's basing now underneath 143.14. Yeah, sure, there's some moving averages there, but you know what? If we strip the chart of the moving averages and just left the VWAP and these lines in, we've got the same trade. Okay, because that's all you really genuinely need is your VWAP and your daily levels. You could trade with just those alone. So it's struggling with 143.14. Once it's under it, it moves down and it moves down. It moves down to our next level, which is 141.06. Starts to base around here, 141.06. Okay, and then it attacks 141. So let's see what happens if we go along. It tries to push, then it comes back up and it's stuck underneath this line, and then it gets above it, and then it tries to get back below it, and then it messes around the area, and then it pushes through. Then it gravitates down to the next level, 139.84. You notice how as soon as it gets there, it goes through the 140. Okay, it goes through the 140, no problem at all. But it starts to doji around 139.84. Because it's another daily level, and Facebook loves daily levels. Okay, you don't need these averages, you don't need them. You could trade without them. Okay, you could probably also draw an intraday trend line across the top of Facebook, and that would also help you. Okay, remember, trend lines and daily lines really work with Facebook. So we come below, we doji, we try to push back up, we get suppressed by the EMA 50. Okay, the most important moving average on your chart intraday, the EMA 50. Rejects, pushes down, pushes through the 140, pushes through the daily level, and moves on. At this point, it's breaking. We could put another one down there. It's breaking daily levels all the time. Let's see if that one had any particular effect. I don't think so, because at this point Facebook was dead. It had no chance. There was very little going to keep it up, to be honest. As you can see, it just died through the rest of the day. It was a hard one, because obviously taking it off around here for 30%, by the time this was down here, to have had just one contract left on it, I think it was around about 850% at this point, which was pretty hard to watch, really, knowing I was in the trade and I didn't get the contracts I wanted, etc. So I can be a little bit tough on the old head sometimes. But when you zoom out and look at this, it's a thing of beauty. Okay, look at that trend line we drew. Look at that trend line on Facebook going back to last summer, straight down. Look what it did today. The trend line came straight across the top. Look, it touches it. It touches it to the penny. Straight across the top of that trend line. So important, guys, to mark up these daily levels. You don't need anything else. If you had nothing else, only your VWAP and your daily levels, you could still trade. Okay, you could still do it. You don't need all these indicators. Strip your charts out, guys. Keep it simple. Okay, come back to the basics. Use your daily levels. Okay, but as you can see, it just interacts so well with these daily levels, from one to another to another to another, and then dead. So you can use these levels to help you if you've got like 100 shares or 200 shares or 20 contracts or 10 contracts. You can use these levels to think, okay, we'll take a couple, we'll take a couple, pay a couple, pay a couple. Now it's dead. Okay, excellent way of trading, nice and simple. Anybody can follow these techniques. Okay, all you need to do is look left on your daily chart, mark your levels up, look for price levels that over the last couple of months have had an effect on the daily price action of a stock. Put that over into your intraday trading and pay attention to it as things come into those levels. When something's pushing up into important levels, you can expect it to reject. Whether it will reject, hold and push, or whether it rejects and dies off all day, only the price action on that day will actually tell you what's going to happen. However, definitely use these levels if you're looking to take shorts, or if it comes down and holds, if you're looking to take longs. These are the places you want to be looking to take these trades, especially if you're trading the bus strategy options, because this is where you get your best premiums. Okay, these were dirt cheap up here, like so cheap, because they're already melting down. You take them off support, off resistance, and you play them down through support levels. Okay, that's all I wanted to look at with Facebook, really. I'm going to be doing a lot of these lessons because I want to be able to refer you to marking up intraday levels and stuff like that, so that when you guys ask me about stuff in an afternoon, if I'm busy trading, I haven't got to spend 15 minutes trying to explain stuff. I'll simply refer you to video lesson number whatever in the moderator's posts page, and you'll have to go and you'll have to watch the video. Okay, you should be educating yourselves, you should be watching this material, you should be watching Pat's material, and you should be really at a level early on into trading where you're able to mark up a daily chart and read a daily chart on an intraday basis to give you an idea what you might want to do. Okay, it's nice, it's simple, there's no indicators on here, there's no scripts, there's nothing. Okay, it's simple charting. All right, very basic charting. Okay, so I suggest that you practice it. Our weekend, when you've got little to do, I would pull up a load of charts, mark them up, and see what you think, and mark up the daily, and then look at how it worked on an intraday and see what effect the lines that you've put on have had on the intraday price action. If you've got TOS, you can go back on demand over months and you can do this, and it's good practice. Okay, and the more you do it, the more you'll come to see how important these daily levels actually are. That's it. That's all I wanted to talk about, guys. Let's have a good day today, and yep, I'll catch you in the chat room. See you in a while. Adios.